Dear Galactic Federation, greetings from planet Earth. My name is Constantinos, but you may call me Costa for short. This video is my message in a bottle, so to speak, and serves as a declaration as well. You may call it my will and testament. About 4 months ago, I turned 60 years of age, and although it is painfully embarrassing to admit it, I still haven't discovered my purpose in life. Perhaps you may say, almost nobody gets it on this planet. It may be so, you're right. And my viewpoint on this matter is that nobody gets it because all of us have been programmed and conditioned not to get it since birth. So, I am no exception to that rule. Rather, I'm the rule. However, ever since my birth, I have been questioning everything that almost the entire world population takes for granted. My insatiable thirst to find out my purpose of being here led me to a tireless quest to discover my many why, how, and what. Since early childhood, I had many dreams, and I would visualize of a life that I could be happy, enjoy every moment of my existence, discover my purpose in life, and finally accomplish this purpose in order for me to attain enlightenment, thus achieving liberation from the physical bondage. In a sense, I would be dreaming of my graduation. Now, keep this in mind, that this visualization was expressed very early on, long before I was introduced in the concepts of reincarnation, karma, and the so-called wheel of samsara. I suppose that these were memories from past lives. Unfortunately, my first environment since birth, that is the familial environment, was not conducive to my innate inclination towards self-realization. On the contrary, it was quite hostile, detrimental, and an impediment to my natural flow of growth, therefore becoming a hindrance, an obstacle, I dare say almost insurmountable by any means. The result? In a nutshell, after a lifetime of hardships and adversities, I ended up in my current predicament, which is not what I had been dreaming since I was a child. For the past 3 years, I have been experiencing homelessness, and I have been sleeping in my car. The how or the why is of no importance. What is important, though, is that I had been indoctrinated and brainwashed since day one into failure. And this happened because planet Earth, as a collective, has been kept into the darkness of ignorance for thousands upon thousands of years. Therefore, every generation would inculcate their ignorance, bias, and prejudice into the next. An endless vicious cycle. So, now, after a seemingly long life of suffering, I came to understand that the only goal worth achieving is the self-realization, the moment of awakening of the soul, and consequently the liberation from the bondage of returning onto this planet to learn something else. And I ask you, what is the reason for coming back if every time we forget about the reason of coming back? Makes no sense in my view. So, my childhood dream still stands. I want liberation and enlightenment from the so-called compulsory reincarnation due to karma. In fact, very recently I came across to some other information and perspective that the notion of karma is also an indoctrination, and it has been implanted into our collective psyche as a program in order to control and manipulate the world population. So, what do I desire for myself and consequently for the rest of the world? I wish that I would remember who am I, what am I, why am I here, and what am I supposed to do in order to fulfill my life's purpose and free myself. Please allow me to digress a bit in this point to elaborate on the word remember. It is the word for truth in the Greek language, which is aletheia, a word combined by two components, the first being a, the letter alpha, and the word lethi. The letter a, alpha, in the beginning of every word denotes without, that is, without the content of the succeeding word. The word lethi means oblivion or forgetfulness. In other words, aletheia means without oblivion or without forgetfulness. In short, a recall. Therefore, I remember. This is what I wish for me, and I'm dreaming of. To remember everything. To have a complete and total recall of myself. To be fully aware of my true essence and to fully awaken to my divine soul. And this can only happen under one condition. If you, dear Galactic Federation, would allow us to grow unhindered and unencumbered, therefore we would be able to follow our natural proclivities in order for all of us to reach our full potential. How can I be happy if my neighbor is suffering? His angst affects me also, and vice versa. We can both be happy and share feelings of happiness, or we can both be miserable, toiling on a downward spiral of fear and despair. Please, let us be. Please, remove the veil of oblivion and allow us to remember. If you, dear Galactic Federation, allow us to remember by lifting the veil of ignorance, we can all heal ourselves on our own. Yes, we are that strong. If we could only remember. And we don't need any help from you in order for us to remember. We can do it on our own. The only thing we ask you to do is stop maintaining the perpetual and artificially induced brainwashing on a planetary scale through the mass media, false world religions, and false science, which promote nothing but fear. Please stop instigating fear into our hearts, minds, and souls. Please let us be free. Thank you for taking the time in listening to my call, a cry which comes out of a painful lifelong experience, but without resentment or hatred. My call to you comes from a place in my heart where there is only love. It comes from the viewpoint of understanding that everything is one, and the key to enlightenment is integration. You very well know this, that love and fear cannot coexist simultaneously. It is either this or that. When love prevails, fear disappears. Let us all remember our true selves and essence, which is love. I send you blessings in hope to appeal to your innermost feelings and connect with you all on a soul level. If any of you benevolent interstellar races only, can hear my message, I would kindly ask that you contact me directly and share some of your insight and wisdom. There are countless questions I have in mind for you to answer. This call is certainly towards benign and positive entities only. I am grateful for your understanding and courtesy. Thank you.